Celica time. Just checking some work emails before I depart on my destination. You were merely adopted into the overworking life. I was born into it, Batman. This is Death Wish coffee. My caffeine tolerance might be too high. Oh, let me show you something I did last night while we coffee, but I was kind of just doodling here the idea for the interior coming up. So it'll be 5 gauges, a dual USB port charger, 2 digital glow shift gauges in blue at the lower area, 3 analog gauges, one of the 3 being a dual gauge for oil and temp. That one actually might be digital with a sweep, so it'll look kind of like a wideband. Yeah, but that's the idea. And then a fuse block to power my accessories, dash cam, radar detector, gauges, etc. Shift knob options. I don't know, I like to doodle and get the ideas out of my brain. I picked up this cool sketchbook. Doki doki. It's JDM. We're gonna get out of here. I'm just gonna pound this coffee. Alrighty. We're on our way. It looks nice out. We're still in quarantine though, so. But I think nature's happy. I've decided that Crocs are probably the best utility footwear, because you could just kind of throw some thick socks and you're all right. It's like 40 degrees right now. I feel fine. And because I'm driving the Celica, I'm gonna take my Crocs off and drive in socks, because I feel like I'm thinking lately driving barefoot is the way to go for manual. The Evo's got a heavy clutch, and the Celica's got its own little quirks to learn, so I think I need to step my game up. Celica time. Current mods on the Celica. Last mod I did some fender rolling back here. I did some fender mods on the other fender over there, and a couple of things under the hood, but nothing really too substantial that you'll see. Oh, Mishimoto radiator. Yep. So stay tuned for that video. Let's start her up. Yeah, I'm probably just gonna. Still kind of warming up. All right, let me take my Crocs off for optimal driving experience. I put new pedal covers in the Evo. I like them, and they're making me feel like the pedals in the Celica are small. They kind of are. Maybe my feet are very wide. Maybe I need wide pedals for my feet, I guess. I don't know, everybody's different, and that's one of those mods where it's very personal modification. I have no power steering. Therefore, I find new and exciting ways to do U-turns or K-turns because it's too tight here. But all right, once we're out of the lot, that's really the worst of it, and it doesn't matter beyond that. Cool. Sounds like audio's pretty good. I don't have a lot of exhaust leading into the car or into the mic. I'm gonna try and place the mic a little closer. Check, check, check. So I can talk while the car is revving up to at least 2 or 3 grand. I'm gonna roll through here just to kind of aid the car in warm up. You can hear the engines. Alrighty, what up, car people? Ariel here. We're doing an episode of CarCast in a Celica, so let's call it Celicast. Yay, yay. This is going to be a little long format, maybe not too edited. That's okay. I mean, it's okay with me. The first rule of Project Mayhem is you decide your level of involvement. So we're in the Celica. We're cruising. Hopefully this audio is not garbage. Check, check, 1, 2. So let's see. I mean, you know, that's like the best that I can do for mic placement. We're gonna do some questions, just kind of car talking about car stuff. So let me look. I made a post on the community tab of the channel, and I just kind of asked, let's talk cars. What do you want to talk about? Next episode, I'll probably do a little background on myself because I kind of realized that there might not be much of that. But anyway, if anything you want me to cover, just comment in this video and we'll just carry on like that. Because I used to do these back in the day, and with the Celica, it's kind of fun. It's exciting. So, first question. I'll take it in order of who asked first. So, let's see. 10 hours ago, power bands. Alex Vieira wants to know about power bands. So, that's a little bit of a vague question. But okay, power bands. What is the power band? The power band is that little spot in the RPM. Boop. See how weirdy talky I am sometimes? Anywho, I like taking the Celica very locally so that I can learn the clutch better and stuff like that. What is the power band? So let's take the Celica for example. The Celica revs up to 7,800 RPMs, whatever. The power band is that little piece of the RPM range where the car gives you optimal and peak torque. It's the spot in the RPMs where you feel like, oh wow, this car wants more and more. But you know that as you rev a car out, it doesn't always give you more and more. Just because you can rev a car very high doesn't mean that it keeps making power that high. Basically, it's all about the drivetrain holding up. You can make an engine withstand really high RPMs by upgrading the valve train. and it might hit a high RPM, but if you're not seeing any gains in the dyno, there's no point in running the engine up that high, especially if the transmission, the alternator, the water pump, all these other rotating assemblies can't keep up. But the power band, what is the power band on the Celic? It's about, I believe it's somewhere around 2,500 RPM and like 4,500 RPM. That's where the car feels like it has the most torque, at least to me, at least maybe this one. But yeah, that's the power band. It's a specific point in the RPM range where the car makes its best power. Let's see. Let me glance at my phone. I don't like glancing at the phone, so fitment. Why there's no new Celica, Evo Power Mods, and the Monkey Wrench Racing 2.0 liter stroker kit. Those are the subjects of discussion. I'm not going to try not to glance at the phone. All right, so let's go on to the Monkey Wrench Racing 2.0 kit. It's a fancy kit. Back in the day, it used to have to be like custom stuff. You would take a 1ZZ crank and machine it to fit the 2ZZ block. It's not really like Legos. It's not like a Honda Civic or, well, kind of. It's not like the Honda engine family that you just grab parts from here and there and they just fit. With the Toyota, there's some modifications required, and you're gonna have to need a different flywheel, whatever. Anyway, Monkey Wrench Racing makes a 2.0 liter kit. There's not a lot of, there's no point in talking too much while the RPMs are up this high. Let's see. But Monkey Wrench Racing has their 2.0 liter kit, and it bumps up the displacement like, I don't know, almost 10%, but not really. The 2ZZ is like a 1.1799cc. It's not really a 1.8. And then the Monkey Wrench Racing kit bumps it up to like 1.998. But yeah, about, 2 liters is 10% more power and torque just by increasing the stroke and the bore. I'm not sure. I think it's just the stroke that gets increased. It's ideal, I believe, because it makes the engine square, which is better for the rotating assembly. Being that the 2ZZ revs so high, it's a good thing to have. It's also extremely expensive. The 2.0 liter kit, it's pricey, and you're going to have to go either to a machine shop or you're going to have to be skilled with putting an engine together. It's not really what people do often, especially in the Celica community. That's like a Lotus thing maybe, but they just swap K-Series because it's easier. Nobody wants to go, generally people don't want to do things the hard way for bragging rights. And they don't have a sentimental connection to the engine, perhaps. I think these kits were developed for a couple of purists that want to keep their 2ZZs and their Lotuses. But, 10% increase, it's a lot of money. It's for the all-out 2ZZ build, if anything. It's for somebody that has, a limitless budget and just wants to build something for his own purposes. And not really something you're going to see commonly on the Celicas. Yeah, I hope that answers the question. If it didn't, let me know in the comment section. But yeah, it's just a 10% increase. You increase the size 10%, you get 10% back. Basically, simple as that. D-Sport Magazine has an article where they build a 2ZZ GE engine. I shared it on the channel. Check it out. It's in there somewhere. And that's some good info. And even if you don't go with the 2.0 liter kit, you learn something about the car. And, for me, I feel like the 1.8 is fine. But, to each their own. I will end up boosting it. I feel like the 2.0 liter kit is just overkill. I couldn't afford it. If it was something simple that could be done easily, yeah, for sure. But yeah, it's not, so not really in the cards for me. Someone asked about fitment. I'm running 17x9 Enki RPF 1s. Offset is 45 millimeter, 5x100. These are gold. This is how they come. I'm running 25 millimeter spacers front and rear, and I'm on coilovers. The car was lower before. I ran a whole bunch of different springs to keep the fenders from getting destroyed, because I set up the car more for looks and pictures at that time. But right now, I really just want the car to feel as good as it looks. And even if that means raising the car up and not having the stancy look, that's fine with me. And I'm probably going to downsize on the spacers. I just need to see if I can do bolt-on 20 mils, or if I'm going to have to do a stud and spacer kit. But I have fitment issues for sure. There's rubbing. I had to roll my rear fenders. I tucked the fender lip up front as much as I could, and at times I just chopped off whatever was contacting the tire with a Dremel. It's just kind of what you do. The fender liners, you'll get destroyed. You'll lose mounting points when you modify the fenders, so over time you just kind of ditch those. It takes some work, it takes some creativity to do to get the car right at a certain height. Next question is, why is there no new Celica? That's an interesting question. Honestly, Celica is just a name. It doesn't mean too much. I'll elaborate once I shift, but for right now, oh, I forgot about that pothole. I clearanced that fender a little bit the other day. Is that a... Oh, that's not a Mustang. Anyway, why haven't they made a new Celica? Well, for Toyota, the Celica was a car to suit a market, and there might not be much of a market for that car, for that type of car anymore. So what's the Toyota Celica? It's a front-wheel drive car. It's lightweight, somewhat economical, kind of sporty. Gives you a little premium vibe with the GTS. It has leather seats and whatnot. But I believe for the time it was a little bit overpriced. It was a newer platform that wasn't proven, a new engine, so maybe the aftermarket didn't take to it too strongly. Railroad crossing. I digress. Why haven't they made a new Celica? Well, they stopped production in 2005, and around that time they picked up production on the Scion TC. And although the TC moniker stands for Touring Coupe, really it's kind of a wink-wink, at least in the car scene. It's kind of like Toyota Celica, right? Scion, Toyota Celica. This is what you get instead of the Celica. I feel like the Celica was more sporty and like directed to a very niche like market almost. It's very nicely styled, but I guess it might have been too much for certain people and then not enough power for others, right? It's like the right looks, the wrong power. The okay power, too aggressive, I don't want it. But they just carried on with the Scion TC, and a little later down the Scion FRS, which I think is probably one of the greater cars that Toyota has produced in a while. Granted, it is a partnership, but without that partnership, the car wouldn't be. And the looks of the Scion FRS are undoubtedly Toyota. So I think, if you are a fan of the Celica, if you like the quality that Toyota offers, then you would probably like a Scion FRS, and you would finally have yourself a nice, lightweight, rear-wheel drive sports coupe with Toyota quality. I don't know too much about the engine offered, but I'm sure that with time, a lot of problems that might be inherent in that engine platform could be solved. The Scion FRS is the new Celica. So basically, the Scion TC is the 8th generation Celica, and the Scion FRS is the 9th generation Celica, which has evolved into a rear-wheel drive. It's just gone full race car, full sport, but still not much power. It's still more about balance and chassis tuning, I think. I think it's a good entry car because it gets you thinking about suspension, and it gets you thinking about those little tweaks that improve the car without adding power. These power adders are expensive. The affordable power adders aren't going to give you a huge jump in power unless you go forced induction. But at that point, you would hopefully have some suspension mods under your belt, and you would see, hey, this car handles great out of the box. Look what I did, and it handles even better. I think it's a great starter car. It's got limitless potential. The Celica, not on the same level as the FRS, but I feel like the FRS is the Celica we've always wanted and never got. So if you want a new Celica, get an FRS. Evo power mods, I remember that one. That one's fun. For me, not a lot. I'm not going to do too much. I want my Evo to look good and handle well, first and foremost. We keep catching these lights. But yeah, I want the Evo to be very tight and good handling, comfortable. I want to update the interior a little bit. As far as power mods, I have an upper intercooler pipe, and I have a K&N intake. When the exhaust starts rattling too much, or the shields fall off, or it starts rusting and leaking, I'll look into maybe a full down pipe and catback exhaust, maybe just a catback exhaust. It really depends on when I need a new exhaust. I don't want to really replace anything unless I have to, because I know that I'm going to have to do some tuning. So it's not really a DIY thing anymore because I'm not a tuner. It's my daily driver, so I like to keep it as reliable as possible. And I feel like as far as power, the Evo is so good. I love it. And I just want to feel that boost in the Celica. I feel like in this chassis and with my mods, it's really going to be fun, and it's been what I've been working towards for a long time. When I bought the car, I wanted to build something special and different, and I just took the challenge. And it's been difficult. It's taken a long time. If it was a different platform, I would have probably been done twice and on my second or third build, but this is what I want to do, and it's going to be so much more delicious when it's complete after this journey. The journey makes it that much more savory. But as far as Evo power mods, I felt like the Evo was my dream car. I was driving a 94 Geo Prism, and I was driving my 94 Geo Prism, and I was beat. I was very sad. I kept telling myself I'm a car guy, but I can't really drive my project car every day. It's gotten to that point. It's very precious and I don't want to lose it. So I just kind of thought, I would like a car that's the way I want it already. And I want something that, I know the Evos. It's been my JDM dream for so long. So to have an Evo 10, I'm super hyped. And stock power levels are great. It's way more than the Celica has. All-wheel drive is awesome. The all-wheel control, it's dope. It keeps me happy as is. And I just feel like once it starts needing these things to be replaced, then I can upgrade them with better stuff. And it'll help me savor that trip as well as the Celica trip. Ultimately, full bolt-ons for the Evo, a good tune, a new paint job, done deal. Maybe some new wheels, definitely some new Recaro seats. Yeah, I'm not sure. Let's see, do we have any more questions? I don't think so. I think that was it. Let me Fitman Evo Power Mods. The car sounds great through these headphones. For me at least. I might be having way too much fun. Anyway, I think that is it, car people. There's a classic car over there and a pothole. Whoop. Anyway, car people, thanks for hanging out on this Celicast. Yay, yay. Now I can focus on not hitting these potholes. Ariel out. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know if you even want to see anything on the next episode. Yay, yay. Ariel out. Flip. Celica time. Celica time. Celica time. Celica time.